Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something really fascinating, a project that brings together cutting-edge AI and the natural world. It's called Enchanted Wings.
Enchanted Wings, yeah, it's not just, another app. It's actually a deep learning system designed to classify butterfly species straight from images.
Exactly. Identifying butterflies just by taking a picture.
And what's really insightful here, I think, is how it tackles a big challenge in biodiversity monitoring.
Which is?
Well, just the huge amount of data, right? And needing to identify things quickly. By making identification easier, it kind of democratizes the whole process.
So researchers, educators, even just nature enthusiasts like you listening, can use it to get fast, accurate IDs.
Yeah, it empowers basically anyone to contribute real-time data about ecosystem health. Citizen science gets a real boost.
That's a great point. It supports ecological research, citizen science, all on a scale that maybe wasn't possible before. So how does it actually achieve that accuracy? What's the tech?
Okay, so this is where it gets technically interesting. They use something called transfer learning.
Right, transfer learning.
And specifically with the VGG16 model. Now, for anyone maybe less familiar, transfer learning is it's a really powerful technique. You take a sophisticated AI model like VGG16, which has already learned a ton from like millions of general images.
Okay.
And then you transfer that knowledge, you fine-tune it for a new, very specific job.
Like identifying butterflies in this case.
Exactly. Identifying butterflies.
And it sounds like they really specialized it. The original script mentioned it was fine-tuned on, what, over 6,000 images?
That's right. Over 6,000 images covering 75 different species.
Wow, 75 species. That's quite specific.
It is. And that robust data set, that specific training, that's what lets VGG16 distinguish between species that might look, really similar to us.
So it's like giving an already smart visual recognizer a masterclass in butterflies.
Precisely. A lepidopterology masterclass, you could say.
Okay, so it's got this powerful engine. How do they make it usable for everyone? Let's talk user experience. It starts with a login, right?
Yeah, a clean, modern login and registration screen.
Which isn't just for show, it's about security.
Security, yes, but also potentially for personalization. Imagine users tracking their own observations, their contributions.
Ah, okay, that could be really motivating for community science projects.
Definitely.
Then once you log in, the design sounds pretty captivating. Animated butterflies, this soft, glassmorphic background.
Yeah, it really draws you in. Makes it visually appealing, not just functional.
And using it seems simple. Click Choose File, pick your photo, hit Identify.
Super intuitive. That simplicity is key, I think, for making complex AI feel accessible.
Makes sense. So what happens then, kind of, under the hood?
Okay, so you identify the back end, which is built using Flask.
Flask, okay. Common web framework.
Right. It takes your uploaded image, quickly pre-processes it, resizes it to 224 by 224 pixels, which is the standard size the VGG16 model expects.
Gotcha. Consistent input for the model.
Exactly. Then it feeds that processed image to the fine-tuned VGG16 model.
Yeah.
And because of all that training we talked about, the model predicts the species with high accuracy.
And you get the result fast.
Pretty much immediately, yeah, on a dedicated output page.
And that page just shows your picture and the predicted name.
It displays the image you uploaded, and right below it, the predicted species. Clear, quick, accurate.
And an option to try another.
Right, so you can easily test more images. Keeps the user engaged.
They also included an About page, which seems like a smart move.
It explains the why behind the app, the technology used.
So it educates the user.
Educates, yes.
Yeah.
But it also kind of gently encourages people to think about butterfly conservation, maybe contribute more.
Right, turning a tool into more of a platform for awareness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes you think, if this works so well for butterflies, what else could we apply this to? What other conservation challenges?
That is a really interesting question. It feels like Enchanted Wings really is a great example of combining deep learning with environmental awareness.
It is. And it manages to be highly functional and aesthetically pleasing, which isn't always easy. The animations, the styling, it looks good.
So just to recap the tech stack quickly, we had TensorFlow or Keras for the model training.
Right, the deep learning part.
Flask for the web server backend. Standard HTML and CSS for the front end, the user interface.
Making it look good and work smoothly.
And Squalite for handling the user login, the authentication.
Yeah, solid stack to build something like this.
So wrapping up, what's the big picture here? Enchanted Wings feels like more than just one app.
I agree. It sets a really compelling precedent, I think.
How so?
Well, it shows how AI can genuinely become a practical frontline tool for protecting biodiversity. It's inspiring.
It could definitely spark ideas for many more AI-based conservation tools in the future.
Absolutely. Imagine a future where this kind of tech empowers, well, almost anyone to be an active part of monitoring and safeguarding the natural world around them.
That's a powerful thought to end on. A future definitely worth working towards.